ויצב יוסף את עבדיו ואת הרפאים לחנות את אביו, ויחנתו הרפאים את ישראל. וימלאו לו 40 יום, כי כן ימלאו ימי החנותים, ויבכו אותו מצרים 70 יום. Then Yosef ordered the physicians in his service to embalm his father, and the physicians embalmed him. It required 40 days, for such is the full period of embalming. The Egyptians mourned him for 70 days. Why did the Egyptians mourn Yaacov for 70 days, while the mummification process only took 40? The commentators explain that 70 meant to include the 40 embalming days and then 30 days of mourning. The 30 days of mourning are taken from the mourning period later for Moses and Ahron. The math works out here, but why would the Egyptians be following the Israelite mourning period? The commentators may have it backwards, and mostly as a result of the more modern understanding of the embalming process. According to the Smithsonian Institute, the mummification process was painstaking and deliberate. Because of the delicate nature of the process, special priests handled everything. This could be what the Torah means by the physicians that Yosef ordered to embalm Yaakov. The first stage involved removing the internal organs. The priests removed the brain via the nose with special hooks, and the remaining organs were removed through small incisions in the body. The Egyptians would leave the heart as the most important organ. The organs were placed in separate jars next to the body. Next, the body was dried out using natron sprinkled outside and placed inside the body. The body was then stuffed with linen to appear less sunken and given fake eyes. It took hundreds of yards of linen to wrap the body, hands, and feet. In between layers, priests would add amulets and masks on the face. Knowing the details of the process, Yosef most likely did not want the religious aspects of the ritual and the removal of the organs to happen to his father. This could be why Yaakov's embalming process only took 40 days. The Egyptians, meanwhile, mourned the entire 70 days because that was the standard length of time for the process. Notice how the text says that only the Egyptians mourned him for 70 days. Yosef most likely hid the fact that Yaakov had a shortened embalming process in order not to insult Pharaoh and the Egyptians. The text, however, made clear that Yaakov did not receive the full embalming process. The embalming process was extremely expensive, and only Pharaoh, nobility, and officials were the ones embalmed. It makes sense that Yosef must specifically instruct the priest to embalm Yaakov, but he himself is embalmed in due course, as the text explains later in verse 26. Ve'chantu oto ve'asu mitzrayma ve'ikbru oto b'mitzrayim. Yosef was embalmed and placed in a coffin in Egypt. 50 pasuk 26. Because Yaakov needs to be transported to Hebron, the only way to preserve his body for the long journey would be to embalm him. Recall how Rachel needed to be buried immediately where she died and could not be transported to Hebron. Knowing that his body will be embalmed as an official of the state, Yosef is able to make the request that his body be transported for burial in Canaan in the future. And, chazak chazak v'nitchazek.